All right, welcome back. So today what we are doing is subtracting rational numbers, which means we are going to be subtracting fractions and decimals. All right, so let's look at this first example. We have 1/3 minus negative 1/3. So even before common denominator, you need to change it to an addition problem by adding its opposite or making two marks. So we end up with plus positive 1/3. So making the two marks is just like this. Positive, positive. So that's our two marks. Now we do have a common denominator, 3. So we're going to go the 1 plus 1, that's on top. So I get 2/3. Okay, so looking at this one, we're going to go ahead and change this to addition. You're going to make your two little marks. It's going to become plus, and this one becomes a negative. So see down here, we have the positive and negative 5/6. Then you want to do a common denominator, which is 6. So we get negative 3 and 2 over 6 plus negative 5 over 6. Now you got two options. One, you can just add them, or you can change the negative 3 and 2/6 to improper, which I did. So I changed this negative 3 and 2/6. You go 6 times 3 plus 2. That's 20. Still a negative over 6 and negative 5 over 6. Since I have two negatives, I'm going to add and keep the sign. I get negative 25 over 6. And if you divide 6 into 25, you get 4 with 1 left over, so you get negative 4 and 1/6. All right, next one. First thing we want to do is change it to addition. So if you just make your two little marks on your paper, you go plus, negative, or you can rewrite it like this, plus, negative. Then change them to improper. 4 times 2 plus 1, 9. 5 times 4 is 20, plus 1 is 21 over 4. Then you got to find a common denominator for 2 and 4, which is 4. So we end up with 18 over 4 plus negative 21 over 4. They have a common denominator, positive, negative. So positive 18, negative 21, you're going to subtract, and there's more negatives. So you end up with a negative 3/4. All right, so on these, again, you want to write them as an addition problem, and then you'll figure out if you add or subtract. So let's look at this one. So the first thing we want to do on this one is change it to an addition problem. Remember, never touch the first number. Change subtraction to addition, and the 6.7 becomes a negative 6.7. Then I like to stack them. So I put the negative 8.4 on top, and then the negative 6.7 below it. Since I have two negatives, I'm going to add and keep the negative, and I end up with the negative 15.1. All right, change it to an addition problem first by adding the opposite. So I have negative 20.5, that did not change. Subtraction became addition, and negative 20.5 became positive 20.5. Different signs on this one, so we're going to subtract, and we get 0. Now this one's a little bit harder. It's got 3 fractions and subtraction. So first thing I would do, it says use properties of addition to regroup mixed numbers that include fractions with the same denominator. So what they're doing is they're moving this, switching these two around right here. So now you got the two of them that have an 8 on the denominator. So negative 1 3/8, 6 7/3, subtract that, you get 5.5. Now combine that with the negative 8.5, different signs, subtract, and you should get negative 3. So that's one way to do it. There's many ways. Alright, go ahead and try your homework. Good luck. If you have any questions, text me or join whenever we have homework help.